Hello everyone, very good morning and good evening. Welcome to our SAP Step Up Circle. So, just to let you know that you are into the Step Up Circle, and today topic in the Step Up Circle is SAP TM. We will be talking about SAP S/4HANA TM. Just to let you know, we are starting very soon a new batch of SAP S/4HANA TM, and we were also getting few requests from the students to have a quick know-how on the SAP TM or overview of TM. So that's where basically we are going ahead with this a quick session in the Step Up Circle where we'll be talking about the overview of SAP TM. Yeah, Rohan is there. Let me give you a quick introduction to Rohan. Rohan is SAP TM trainer with Sastrageek solution for quite some time. The last batch of the TM also has been taken by Rohan. He has done it. He is working on to this stream for quite some long time. He is a working consultant. He is having 10 plus years of experience and he is working on SAP TM as a consultant. So he gives just some time to us where basically he provides the training on SAP TM, but largely he's focusing on different SAP TM projects. He really loved to share the knowledge, and that's where basically we look forward for any trainer to whom we onboard it, right? So with that, a quick and brief introduction, Rohan, over to you. You can go ahead and provide a quick overview of SAP TM so that all the people who have joined, even from the different modules, they would be able to understand, at least from this today's session, what is TM and where it is used, what kind of business needs it would be able to fulfill it.
Sure. Thanks, Parminder. Thanks for the nice introduction, and thank you all for joining in the session. And I'm highly obliged to be there right now to take care of the session. So, just to welcome all, should be good. So, when you talk about TM, who are the ones who needs TM? Okay, so there are two kind of categories of people, or I would say industries or the segments of people who need TM. The one who can manage their own transportation, okay, the one who can manage their own transportation, and the one who serves or serves the industry altogether. For example, let's take an example, a very simple example of Tata Steel. Tata Steel is one of the biggest manufacturer of steel, suppose, in India. Now there are two options with the Tata Steel. Now Tata Steel can take care of their transportation on their own, the very first case. Second, they can outsource this particular transportation from some expert transportation companies who can help in facilitating the transportation. Maybe Tata Steel feels that okay, maybe international transportation I should not take up because that requires lot many documentation, lot many paper checks and all. Let us onboard DHL for the same. And that is where your TM will be helping you in providing the both the kind of cases most likely. So once you get into the system, there are two broad categories of cases that you would see eventually in your projects as well. The one where you are onboarding or you are having TM at the manufacturing end, in case just like what we spoke about as in Tata Steel having TM at their own end, and they are managing transportation at their own end, which is somewhere which is called as a shipper scenario. That is what we'll talk about once we'll get into the system altogether when once you're onboarded. The second thing is basically about logistic service provider scenario, which is where your Tata Steel guy is not having TM at their own end, but yes, they have outsourced their transportation services to the third party service provider. So that is where your TM can be seen from both the perspectives. So that's the reason I'm saying, depending upon TM is installed at which end, from which perspective you are looking for, your scenarios will be different. But yeah, broadly, there are two categories or two types of scenarios that you would see. And either of these processes, either of these cases goes with the basic core process of transportation management, which definitely is same because the overall objective of transportation management is to take care of the transportation. So the overall process remains same, and that is where we are going to talk about like what this overall process looks like. Now, now let's talk about the overall process, like how it starts with. Usually when you talk about any other module to talk about, you have very basic core aspects which are there. The very first aspect is your setting up of your master data. Now, if you are building your TM system from scratch, that means you are there into a scratch project, fresh implementation, greenfield implementation. In such cases, you might need to set up the master data from scratch where you might not have enough master data. You might need to consult business as well that what all things are needed from there and what all things that you can manage from your system. And that is how you can come down with the data. So ultimately, the very basic set of actions that are taken care is taken under the master data. So your entire TM stands under 6 basic pillars. And one of the basic pillars is your master data. So master data talks about a lot many other aspects like, for example, locations, lanes, routes, zones, resources, rate table, agreements, calculation sheets, some part of charge management basically. So it completely comprises of one-time information that you do. So it's not something that you need to go with complete, you know, regular or recurring kind of data. You have to define these master data as it is the master data, just like every other SAP system have. TM has its own subset of master data that you can utilize. Now, once this pillar is, you know, there, once it is master data is present, master data is there, you already have that. Then most likely you get into the next 4 recursive pillars of TM. And to let you know and understand those recursive pillars, let me talk about the very first pillar, that is order management. Now, when you talk about the order management, there are multiple ways to get an order in the TM system. Now, very simple example to understand is, um, let's take a very simple example. So suppose I am talking about a Tata Steel, okay? Just any example. Uh, Now, when Tata Steel want to place a request to DHL guy, suppose DHL guy is having a TM at their own end. So there are a couple of ways. Either Tata Steel guy would be having some sort of UI mechanism. Suppose some guy sitting at their own end. Okay. He's having some application, some web UI application, and he is probably uh, moving the uh, or maintaining the data probably inside that particular web portal, like going from Delhi to Mumbai with 5 tons of steel, so and so timeline, so and so weight, volume, blah blah details. And he presses submit. And definitely you might have some sort of integration with that UI platform of Tata Steel, and probably that would get updated into DHL's TM system, because right now we are assuming that probably DHL is taking care of that part. So such kind of order which gets generated in the DHL's TM system is basically is an EDI way of generating an order. There are multiple ways to how a order can process or how the order can get updated in your TM system. So one of the ways where you have some automated mechanism developed altogether via EDI or via some XMLs, via some interfaces, most likely that gets updated, or via some batch information in TM and an order gets created. Another way is probably a DHL guy could go to Tata Steel store, or Tata Steel guy could go to DHL store, and probably at DHL send the order would have been created. Just like you go to post office and the respective guy who is sitting next inside the counter cabin, he probably is doing the similar kind of activity, and he's manually generating an order for you. So either of the ways are fine. Okay, so either via EDI or via manual way, either of the ways are good. Whatsoever ways looks promising can be considered. But ultimate aim is, once you're this pillar, one-time pillar, which is master data, which is established, the next set of recursive 4 pillars will be considered. So the very first pillar is order management, that talks about how an order gets generated in your TM system. Now, when an order gets generated in your TM system, the very next pillar comes into picture, talking about how this order management, which has procured or which has updated this order in my TM system, what I would do with that order. So what would happen is DHL's order management team will pass it on this order information to the planning team. So what the planning team would do, planning team will skim through with that order and would see that what this order can be dealt through. So what the team would do is, okay, let's see what this order is all about. So this order has to go from Delhi to Mumbai. Now, planning team's job is to make sure they give out the complete chalk out of the program of this order. Like Delhi to Mumbai, I can go via multiple mechanisms, right? Multiple mechanisms means I can go from Delhi to Mumbai via air, I can go via road, I can go via rail, okay? And within that also I have various means. Like for example, I can go via bus, car, truck, tempo. So I have various means. It is probably at me only whom should be deciding how I should be focusing upon that. And based upon that only, I would be identifying and finalizing that, okay, this is going to be the best one. And based upon that selection, I would be identifying which is going to be the best carrier. Suppose um, I consider Delhi to Mumbai. I need to quickly deliver my 5 tons of steel. Maybe I could opt for air mode of transportation. Maybe, but that would be costing me more. So it is purely depending upon how the planning has to be done, whether you consider cost as one of the parameter, time as parameter, you have some third party factors as parameter, you give some preference to some local vendor. So it is purely up to you how do you optimize your solutioning and plan that particular output. And once that is done, once you are thorough with that outline of that entire movement, that how it should be done, suppose I selected like Delhi to Mumbai via road, and probably via road I will be going by a truck which can contain my 5 tons of steel, which most likely will be moving overnights only. So probably 3-4 nights it will take Delhi to Mumbai, it will come down, because probably in India, if you talk about, you don't have um, uh, trucks which can move probably inside city limits. Okay, so various things are there. So depending upon that, I'll go and I'll have a planning of my relevant order. Based upon that planning, probably whatever you see right now over here is dependent upon what the system based functions that we might perform on those. Okay. So once your planning is done, which is the next pillar, you have a planned chalk out of that layout of the program. You probably will be going further with the next pillar, which actually imitates whatever is being planned and finalized. And that is where this execution will happen. This execution will make sure that whatever is being planned based upon the layout prescribed by the planning team of DHL, they follow the similar planning. In case if minimal variations are there, that is also being under limits most likely. So most likely when you talk about the execution talks about how actually the movement happens by creating multiple objects like freight order. Once we'll get into the system, you'll get to hear a lot many new terms like freight order, freight booking. So most likely this is the same step where your TM actually integrates and talks to multiple systems as well. Like you, it will be talking to carrier portals, that will be talking to event management, GTT, GIS, event management. So a lot many modules that will come up most likely, which will be talking to TM at this phase, which actually is responsible for actual real-time movement and updation of your events altogether in your respective order. This execution phase is responsible for actually delivering the consignment from Delhi to Mumbai. And now once it is delivered to Mumbai, that is where my execution phase gets completed. And that is where I'll be going up with the fourth phase, most likely, which is responsible for settling up of all my payments. And since I talk about the settlement, there can be multiple kind of payment that might come into picture. For example, Tata Steel will pay to DHL, definitely. Okay. And since Tata Steel is paying to DHL, DHL also will be paying to their carriers because they have onboarded some carriers. So ultimately, there will be multiple kind of settlements that will come into picture. So there are two broad categories of settlement that will come into picture, which is most likely the carrier payment and the customer payment. Customer means from the DHL's perspective, Tata Steel is your customer. So that's the reason I'm talking about customers payment. That is what it will be talking about. And carrier payment, definitely DHL pays to the carrier. So that is the reason I would say this settlement most likely is the one which is taken into account, and most likely this is the same settlement which will be settled into your finance system which is integrated at the end. So most likely these four processes are the recursive processes which comes into picture. And since we are talking about these four processes which are recursive in nature, definitely these are the ones which you would also be learning altogether, because master data is something which is a one-time setup. So once it is there, eventually once we'll go through in our sessions as well, you will get to see these phases also. Okay, so eventually that is where we'll talk about. And most likely when once we'll talk further, we'll talk about the integration segment that talks about of sixth pillar. That is what I spoke about. So entire TM stands into six basic pillars. First pillar is your master data. Next four pillars are the recursive pillars, and the sixth pillar is an integration segment where it integrates with multiple cross modules. It integrates with ECC, it integrates with event management, it integrates with various other aspects. So definitely from the TM's perspective, whatsoever integrations are there, I'm definitely going to take care of that part. But most likely the relevant side of integrations also has to be taken care, most likely in the relevant modules. So whatsoever modules are there, their respective partners, respective consultants will take care of their side. And most likely, at least you should be aware about what all are the touch nodes which are there in TM, what all are the basic set of nodes which are there that you should be focusing upon. Okay. So that is where I would say it is basically is a core process. I would say, and I would describe it as a very basic core process of TM, and how TM basically has subdivided your entire movement, how these movements can be capitalized in your SAP TM module. So that is where is all about the core process that you would see most likely in once we get into the system. So in case if you have any queries, you can let me know. Okay, that should be good. So I would probably hand over the session back to Parminder and team, most likely. Yes. Yes, Akash, Ashish, I think, sorry. So carrier selection, definitely, yes, it is being taken care of. And rate shopping, I think there is nothing called as rate shopping, but maybe I don't know whether it is mistaken or mistyped or what. Uh, you have something called as carrier selection, definitely happens. That is part of that only. So configurations will be taken care of. Very correct. Charge calculation, Niharika, definitely is it is going to be taken care of. So that is the basic fundamental, as I said, is a part of master data. It is going to be taken care of. Okay. Sadanand, yes, TM is definitely a good combination with MM and SD, so don't worry. So at any point of time you are from MM background, TM is definitely going to be a good case to talk about and have it in a good combination. For answering Lux query, most likely, yes, we do use some sort of tracking and tracing object, and that is where we have your event management module to talk about, where you have your event management integrated to your TM system that takes care of how the tracking and tracing of your goods are considered and how it is taken care. So don't worry on that part. As part of integration with event management, that is going to get addressed. So most likely, if you have your respective, you know, side of people also joining, you will be able to see that part. Warehouse billing is not part of SAP TM's process, Sunil. So definitely you can expect that not to be covered to be over this place. But yeah, and again, the output management, yes, that is going to get covered. So altogether, it is a part of TM. So I'll take care of that part. Don't worry on that. To answer Hari's part, definitely, yes. So, as part of LBN, definitely when you talk about LBN, it is the recent advancement which is there, and it is one of the carrier portal which is generally used, which is an SAP product altogether. So, when you talk about LBN, I would say yes. I'm going to talk about, but most likely it is a separately licensing portal. So as part of our TM training, I'll talk about TM training only, and most likely you won't be able to see anything with respect to LBN because that is an externally licensing portal which you need to procure separately, and you probably would have to see. But probably since I'll try to manage with somehow at my end if I can get something. Any carrier portal is okay to talk about and illustrate, so don't worry on that. I'll check for that part. Uh, To answer Sridhar's query, scope of TM for MM, definitely there is a slight scope, I would say. If you are getting into the TM segment, TM in itself is a very huge subject to talk about. And if you talk about from an MM's perspective, if you are learning, it is having very less scope to talk about. If you are only there in working in an MM segment, or you are simply creating some purchase orders or basic set of things, I would say uh, it would not be uh, a huge thing to get into TM because inside TM you don't have much thing about MM. In fact, 95% of the time we'll be talking about TM only. So only 3, 4, 5% that we'll talk about of SDMM is only just to create a sales order or a purchase order perspective. Other than that, inside our TM training, we'll not talk about anything apart from TM altogether. In fact, if you talk about the scope of TM in MM for the MM guy, I would say it is very limited. But if you want to fully, deep dive yourself into TM area, I would say it is a very vast area to talk about.
Rohan, let me pitch in. I think the question is that the scope of TM for the MM consultant, right? If the MM consultant wants to learn TM, what kind of jobs he would be getting and whether it would be good one to add on if a MM consultant go ahead with the TM training, right? If he upskills,
Hmm.
I think that is the question, and I would say that
Okay.
that combination is good. We ask people that after SD you can go ahead with the TM. After MM also you can go ahead with TM. After MM you can go ahead with EWM also. So the point is once you are trained as SAP MM consultant, you need to enrich, you need to upskill with some of the niche module. And TM and EWM, they are the two niche modules are there, right? Now you need to understand that what are the things you like or where you have a more business knowledge. If you are as an MM consultant, if you have a more business knowledge into the sourcing side of it, then MM plus Ariba combination will work better for you. If you say that inventory management and the warehouses part, you have a good process knowledge and you have interest in that, then MM plus EWM combination should work for you. If you say that the transportation, the logistics part, the trucks movements and loading the trucks and doing the calculation and management of that is the business area where you have some knowledge in, and that creates an interest in you, then PMM plus TM combination would work well. Rohan, you can go ahead. Sorry, I thought that need to explain the question in another way because I understand that question was for another thing. MM
No
by
problem, no problem.
yeah.
I think that should be good. And I think to address Geeta's query, so I'm a developer looking for some technical concept to be covered. I would say this is going to be a completely a functional session, okay, just to highlight it, pretty much in advance. However, in my session, I'll touch base on some of the ABAP segments altogether, just for the wider sake of people to understand on the subject, but it will not be a purely on a technical side that I'll be taking care. So it will be simply a hand holding part of technical area that I'll be taking you through. So if you're expecting to be from a technical perspective, it will be very limited from that side. Okay, and to address Niharika's another question, I'd like to cover all the topics. So most likely uh, to address and to cover the topics, most likely it is going to be quite some of 40-hour session that we are going to go with. Apart from that, I think you also have good amount of training videos already uploaded probably in Sastrageek website. I think once you'll get the access for all the portals, you'll get to see any additional queries, segment-wise topics, your interest-wise topic. You can probably refer to the previous batches sessions as well. So it is all up to you. I would like to, how would you like to, address, and how would you like to take that up? So I would say it'll be definitely, apart from session, you'll get a plenty amount of area to take care. So I think a lot many things will get covered up, even if you miss some of the sessions or something like that. To address Geeta's query again, just to have an idea on the approach to move forward with the client customization. Okay, I'm a web person looking for some technical concept. Okay, so that is where we spoke about. So a slight bit of technical touch hold on the technical side, I'll be taking care, so don't worry. But if you're expecting complete technical session to be there, that is where I would refrain, because it is completely a functional session that we are going to talk about. However, if you want to have some sort of additional discussion, maybe we can discuss, no worries. So yeah, Hari, I addressed LTM, LBN. So definitely TM segment I'll take care so altogether. So maybe you will not be able to see the LBN side of integration altogether. However, I'll have my real-time document, real-time live document of how a TM interacts with any carrier portal. So don't worry, at least that part will be taken care. TM-EWM integration, definitely yes. So when you talk about TM-EWM, as I said, some portion will be considered in the TM side of configuration that I'll eventually will cover. What all are the touch nodes which are there in the TM end, I'll take care, I'll definitely work upon, and I'll help you know. But most likely EWM side of integrations, most likely the EWM consultants will better take you through. So as part of our TM training, because definitely you'll be having a module of TM's module access only. So you would have TM side of integration that which is relating to EWM that I'll cover. Don't worry. SDTM, good combination, very correct. SDTM is a very good combination, most likely, as what Parminder also addressed. SD has become one of the basic module in SAP world right now. So definitely, if I would say, if you're talking about SD plus TM, definitely yes, it is going to be a good module to talk about, because uh, TM being into niche area, SD being into generic area, and most likely whatever the job offers that you might get in the market as well, it will be in sync in line with SD plus TM combination only. So I would say uh, the combination is definitely expected, but they expect more of TM side of knowledge from you, because there are a lot many SD consultants which are available in the market, but not the other way around for the TM side. Okay, so Priyank, so have to be in that sync. So, Kamal Preet, so that is how the career opportunities are very good. I would say it is very, I would say it is a very hot cake in the market right now. If you probably write out TM somewhere in your resume, you definitely get, you will get a call or get shortlisted somewhere or someplace definitely. So, don't worry, the career opportunities in TM is very huge. At least for now, it is on a rising pie. So you would be on the right side in case if you're looking for career building in TM area, because right now we don't have very good amount of skilled professionals. Skilled means the people who actually know the subject basically. Otherwise, people who just are pretending they are there. But just like you have a good resource market of SD, you still do not have of TM. So I would say it is a good opportunity for you to be there and to take it further.
Rohan, just I would like to add a little bit on something here
Mm-hmm.
on the TM opportunities. Okay,
Sure.
so that is what one of the, what talk show or what you call it, that we are planning it with some of the experts, right? And I was in discussion in one of the consulting company, the lead of the logistics capability in one of the biggest consulting company who's having most number of SAP projects, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was in discussion with him, and we are still planning that we'll be doing a talk show with him. But one of the things was coming up, I was checking that where does the TM market stands, right? And why there is still a lot of demand is there in the market for TM consultant. Although if you will see the TM solution which is there, SAP is not a flagship runner for a TM solution. Still in the market, there is a huge demand of TM consultants. So that's where we were having a discussion. That's where he gave me that in his company there are the multiple projects was happening. It's happening for Oracle Transport Management. It's
Mm-hmm.
happening for Blue Yonder. Okay, those
Mm-hmm.
are the TMS system, which is not SAP TMS system. But
Correct.
still, in this solution and architect, what he told me that even in those projects, in even one of the project I was also included. In those projects also where companies are going with the Blue Yonder, companies are going with Oracle TMS system, still SAP TM consultant is required. Why? Because when you integrate S/4HANA system with this third-party system to manage the TM, still you need to activate the classic TM system. So earlier, how the integration was happening? Earlier, we were using SAP LE shipment module we were using in ECC system, and we were integrating with Oracle Transport Management, or we were integrating with W Yonder. Now, in SAP S/4HANA, because LE is shutting down, and all the people are adopting need to adopt to TM. So if that integration happen, at least classic TM need to be activated into the S/4HANA system, and all the classic TM processes need to be activated in the S/4HANA TM system, and that classic TM might be using advanced TM functionality from the Blue Yonder or Oracle. Because of those projects also, you need a TM consultant, because the people who are working on SAP LE shipment module, he cannot say, okay, now I will work on TM, because completely two different technical objects are there, right? So one thing is that the people are increasing to adopt to S/4HANA TM because it's embedded available. So that increase is increasing the demand of TM consultant. Second thing is that people who are using logistic execution module with the same license, they can use classic TM, right? That is increasing the TM module demand. And the third thing is that even though where companies does not going with S/4HANA TM, they are going with Blue Yonder or TMS system, Oracle TMS system. That is also increasing the demand, because in the architecture, if you will see, classic TM has been activated. And there's a lot of work in that integration for a TM consultant. I know a couple of projects where they have only two consultants for TM. They thought most of the thing will happen in Blue Yonder or Oracle TMS, but they need to change from T2 to 4 to 5 consultant they need to put for TM. to make sure that integration part has been handled well. So that is increasing a demand of TM consultant. That's where Rohan was saying, boss, why do you asking to just put it into the market, put it into your resume and check it? How many calls do you get it? So there is some background that why SAP TM demand is increasing in the market. And I hope that if I get a good time from that capability lead, we would be doing a detailed talk show, not only to talk about TM, but other TM solution also, how the market is behaving to the other TM solutions also. Okay, that's to quickly elaborate on the TM demand because I see 2, 3 people are asking the same question. Rohan, you can take it ahead.
Correct, correct. I think most of the queries are addressed, I would say. I think things are pretty much right now.
Mhm. Anyone has any question related to TM, you can feel free to ask. If you want to raise your hand to ask your question, you can also do. A lot of people was having a questions related to curriculum. A link to the curriculum has been given. Okay, and if there is any question which you have asked, maybe you have put it direct to me, but Rohan is asking it. Rohan is answering it. If your question is unanswered, you can put in the chat again. Okay, or if you want to speak, raise your hand and then we'll give you the unmute access. Okay, let me quickly see in the chat. I hope you got the link also, that the link which you need to use it to enroll for the sessions that has been provided. I will just start from a little bit down. Niharika has a question. I am TM technical consultant, but I want to learn functional. Yes, all the configs would be okay. Rohan has already answered. Sridhar want to unmute. Priyanka want. So I have 2 people hand raised. Sridhar, please raise your hand so that we can give you unmute access. I am giving unmute access to Priyanka for now.
It's Priyank.
Priyank,
Hey,
sorry. No.
no worries, Parminder. Yeah, thank you so much. Parminder, there's basic, confusion that I've had, like whether I should be, involving myself around the TM area or the BRIM area, being from the SD background.
Mhm.
One thought process says that, if you go through the TM, you can expand on the logistics domain, with all the warehousing and the shipment and all that processes, perhaps we can try and expand one's knowledge and horizon from that front. On the other hand, with BRIM, again, that's another area which is pretty hot, I believe, and which perhaps deals with more of these what do we say, digital content consumption and billing and all of that. So it was sort of getting a bit confusing. What line should we really go about with? And both
Okay,
seem
so
very appealing that way.
yeah, so Priyank, what I would be saying is that in the current project or in the current company which you are working in, what do
Mhm.
you see if you select one of them, where the chances are more to get project?
It's like equal, almost equal. Yeah.
You have some BRIM projects going on?
Yeah.
Okay. So the project chances are equal. And what is your interest area, Priyank? Do you more interesting into the BRIM is the separate part of where it is more into the SD billing operations and SD operations are there,
Mhm.
and TM is more into the transportation side of it, right? So where is your interest lies in more?
I mean, frankly, I'm okay to learn and like both the aspects, but like seem to that's where the confusion comes for me because both seem very appealing to me that way, and it's becomes a matter of understanding now where do I really take a path forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
not like there is a clear answer to which I will say, hey, I don't like this TM thing or I don't like the BRIM thing.
Mm-hmm.
Both seem appealing, and I've just had a very short experience with BRIM as well. I didn't
Okay.
get to like for about a month or two before the project got shelved.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
just those basic T codes like FQ events and Bixbitmon and some those things I do remember. and it seems interesting that way as well. So I'm in a state of dilemma actually, and I needed some expert advice.
Okay, so what advice I will give it to you if you will see
Hmm.
the how the both products are there. Now
Hmm.
the TM is coming as a core part of SAP S/4HANA. It's in top of SAP S/4HANA. It's embedded product,
Hmm.
right? Like other modules, SD is there, TM is there, MM,
Hmm.
SD is there, MM is there, FICO
Hmm.
is there, PM is there, PP is there. With
Correct.
that way, it is in the core product, it's another module,
Hmm.
right? Although the BRIM is still the cloud-based solution which is available, which somebody need to integrate if they want it,
Hmm.
some special functionalities, then they need to use the BRIM, right? So
Hmm.
because the TM sits in the core, the usability and the adoption I feel in the companies will come more from the TM side, right?
Hmm.
Compared to the brim side. But all because you said you have equal chances, then you can take your call. If I need to take a call, I might be going for TM because it's a core product. It's sitting into the SAP S4 HANA. There
Hmm.
would be all the people who have adopted to S4 HANA. There are high chances they can go. If the logistics operations they need to handle more betterly, they can go ahead with the TM part, right? Although the BRIM is a software, a cloud-based software which they need to connect with, it's not part of the core product.
Hmm.
And with the TM, with the classic TM, if you have a S4HANA logistics license, which is the basic license comes the
Hmm.
S4HANA, where you have SD, MM modules, the classic TM we can use in the same license. Although BRIM is always a product which need to be bring up with the new license and everything, new infrastructure on the cloud, right? So that
Right.
way I see more adoption to the TM compared to Brain. That's way I would suggest you, but you are open and open to your call. You can always, it's your career, so the final
Correct.
calls should be yours.
So in such a case, like, do they like have requirements where you can still be primary SD and have the transport TM as a secondary thing, or it's going to be then always the TM first and then take care of SD? Because I do not really want to leave core SD and I want to explore more on the core SD like AATP, etc.
See, I also suggest never leave the core SD because
Yeah, I
there
mean
are
this is
some
what I had the.
modules, yeah, there are some modules which are here which was there 30 years ago also, which is
Exactly.
also here and which will also be there after 30 years. That is the core four functional modules SD, MM, PP, FICU. They are the core four functional modules are there.
Right.
Out of that, PP would be there where the manufacturing is there or where the planning is there, but buying and selling and the finance would be there always in any company.
Correct. Correct.
Those are
Correct.
the very core modules. You should always be there at part of it. That can give you a job after 30 years also. So don't leave that. That would be always there in your module that you are a core SAP SD
Hmm.
consultant.
Hmm.
And on top of that, you know more things. And that will only appreciate your profile. It will not depreciate.
But will then suppose if I do a TM right now, will then people just force me to go and become a TM consultant rather than being an SD consultant who knows TM and who can work on TM? And perhaps I hope I'm able to explain myself.
Yeah. So for that, if you want to go ahead with the full-fledged TM consultant,
No, no,
what
I
you need
was
to do,
sorry,
let me tell you, what you
sorry.
need to do, you need to make sure that whatever the trainings we are doing it, you go in detail, you do a very good hands-on in the system.
Hmm.
And then we also have something called the internship program, where you sit as a TM consultant and you can do one end-to-end implementation with us,
Hmm.
right? Once you do that things, then you can modify your CV and manipulate your CV, and you need to showcase that you have around a couple of years of experience in TM so that you can be taken as in the projects where you will be working as a full-fledged TM consultants.
My question is actually the other way. I mean, I was wanting to be more of a SD guy who knows TM and can, lend a good hand or whatever experience. I mean, who can sort of do both these things that time, but never leave the core SD was my thought process. I'm not sure if how much correct I am in that thought process.
Yeah. I support that thought process. You can be always core SD, but it would be different projects you need to handle. You got one project where you are completely focusing on the TM side. SD is another consultant. Your knowledge in SD would help you to get the integrations done.
Hmm.
But then you can have another project where you are doing a dual role of SG and TM also. So that would be always there. Whatever the projects comes, your little bit working towards SD or working towards TM will be getting shifted.
Right. Right.
Okay. So
Thank
Priyank,
you.
there are few more people who have raised the hands.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
If you allow me, I will try to jump to them. Okay. Next, I'm going to the Balasundaram.
Hello.
Hey, hi Bala.
Good evening, sir. This is Sundaram. I am logistics side, sir. Can you explain the TM, sir? Actually, transport arrangement.
Transport arrangement.
Yeah, from one
I
place
will.
to another. You explain just now. You explained, sir. Where in the truck and somewhere to explain the Tata Steel truck, no, sir.
I will
Mm-hmm.
hand it over this question to Rohan.
Yeah. Let me know.
Can you repeat the
Can you repeat
question?
again? Yeah, maybe I was
So that
unclear
is the
about.
Tata Steel. Sir, my company is that ERP right now, sir. My company.
Hmm.
So they want to change to SAP, sir. Lot of people went to Mumbai and learning that side, sir. So I am individually joined to SAP for SAP for HA, sir. I want to my personal
Okay.
interest to join this, sir. Actually,
Okay.
hello.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I am learning to material management and that sales distribution, sir. How that process and please explain, sir. One thing. I am required, sir. Actually, and that information I required. So
Okay.
just now you told us that the
Mm.
transport arrangement.
Yes, I basically spoke about the overall process, how it might look with respect
Hmm.
to shipper scenarios perspective, where you have Tata Steel who's trying to
Hmm.
manage its
That
transportation
Tata
on
Steel is
their own.
example, sir. Tata Steel is example, sir. You told the
Example,
Tata Steel.
example. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir. Yes.
example. It could be any manufacturing company, to make it
Yeah,
more
yeah. Lot of
specific and
dealers are
generic.
there. A lot of dealers are having that my company actually.
Okay.
So that vehicle arrangement and that you have arrangement that actually freight cost and everything you can enter, sir, in this app.
Yeah, probably can take care of that vehicle arrangement, assignment, carrier assignment, probably can be done in TM, and that is where your TM comes into picture.
So
So
the TM module, that recording as a session is possible. Recording once explain. Is
yeah,
it
yeah,
possible to?
I think the sessions are pretty much recorded. So at any point of time, once you are enrolled, I think what Perminder is also showing, you'll get a complete bundle access of all the content related to the recordings of entire batches altogether,
Okay.
along with multiple specific topics also. Okay, so if you need a specific concern on a specific topic, or you want to get into some specific, SD side of
Yeah.
functions as well, some side of functions as well, I think that is what I think he's trying to showcase right now. So I think um, that is what he's trying to share, I think. If you can.
What time that? Which session, sir? MM session is available, sir. session.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, basic sessions for all the modules. I think he is already offering it to you in a
Uh,
bundle access. I think that's
uh,
where I think, Paminda, if you can explain about the bundle access and the product details, that will
okay.
be,
Sure.
yeah, that will be
Yeah.
Okay.
addressing his need.
Yeah, so that I
Okay.
think can address many of the people who are asking the question, right?
Sir.
So
Okay.
when you will be going through this TM course, we have this bundle which you would be getting it, and this bundle has actually 3, 6, 9, 11 different products are there in this bundle which you would be getting it. So in these 11 different products, we are providing you the different things, and believe me, the kind of content we are providing, I can
Um,
also put it onto the stamp paper that this kind of content for the TM you will not get anywhere, this kind of widely spread TM content.
okay.
So we are providing you the SAP S/4HANA Server Access. So this is a product to provide you S/4HANA Server Access. This product is not only limited to let you know that you have a server access, but in this one also we have videos available. If you want to set up your system for SDMM, although you have not enrolled for those training, but if you want to set up your system from scratch for SD and MM, you can go through
Is
this
the first
video.
we install?
PP, if you want to set up your system. FI, a lot of people get stuck with FI errors, right? People stuck with the Fiori errors, right? Account assignment errors, that errors you might be facing in during doing TM also. Some kind of TM generic errors also, the objects has been logged and you need to put the transport request on your name so that you would be able to proceed ahead. So that kind of general error fix, okay, and you would be able to find it here. Small video we have put it. So what we do that
Okay.
when people are using our servers and if they are finding any difficulties, repeatedly we create a small video and we put it here, and it also have a generic guidelines that how you need to access the remote desktop, how you need to log in. Everything is available in this part. Then we have this SAP step up circle. Step up circle would be having another 200 plus hours of video. If you say that I need a EWM overview, I want to know about what is body, what is BAPI, I want to know about AI, I want to know about API, I want to know about let's say Signavio, what is Signavio? I want to know about Enable Now. On all these topics, there are additional 200 hours of videos available. We understand when you are doing your career journey, you might be requiring and stocking up some topics where you need a quick video to watch and do. And on this, all these topics which I have talked about, there are more than 90 minutes video available on all the topics. And for all these things which we are giving you complete free, 200 hours of plus, you would be able to find that much of learning, that much of training into the Udemy, and people are charging you the small amount for it and 500 rupees, 1000. But all of this we are giving it complimentary. SD module overview, QM module overview, PPPI overview. This is complimentary. We are giving it to you as a part of
Okay.
bundle. If you want to go for the certification questions are available here with wrong answers. We want you to jump into the certification question, practice it, and try to find your own answer. With that way, you would be learning the module and also having a good knowledge on the subject. Okay, apart from that, the books would also be provided to you. That is our third-party vendor would be directly sharing the books on your email ID. SAP books would be provided. These are the success stories. I am leaving this ahead. This is Gamifier S4HANA TM. So whatever the sessions we are doing it, right? Recording of all of the sessions would be available here. In this one, you can check it. Let's me click. So if you want to go ahead with the last batch, so these are the recordings from the last batch. These are the recording from the last to last batch. These are the recordings from last to last to last batch. All the previous batch recordings and the current batch live recordings would be available from here. You can watch the previous batches also and the current live batches also from here. If you miss any session, you would be able to go from here. Fiori A to Z for functional consultant. We understand that you need to work on Fiori now. Some people were asking ki S4HANA, we are working first time. Now in most of the things for the TM would be happening through Fiori. So we are providing you additional course on the Fiori. That is a very good course which every function consultant need to do. That is around 8 to 10 hours of course only on Fiori. What all things you need to know about Fiori as a functional consultant. Everything we have put it in this course is a self-paced course which you can go through it so that you know better understand Fiori because TM would be working on Fiori. If you want to prepare for the interviews, this is the interview questions available. Data migration, if the mass data need to be uploaded, mass customers need to be uploaded, mass freight providers need to be uploaded. All the mass data upload happens to HANA Migration Cockpit. So this is a separate course, again, around 8 hours of separate course we have given to you as a complimentary, where you would be able to understand how mass data transformation happens. This is a mind map and content library I teach, I have used earlier and created a lot of very good mind maps on SAP TM. That all things would be available here, and we are putting really good amount of content here. Many complex topics you would be able to find from here. So this is a just example. I hope it works. Yeah, this is how the enterprise structure is there. The mind maps are available for that, so that with the screenshots it's available, so that you can quickly revise this thing. These kind of mind maps can help you a lot before jumping into the interviews. Okay, and then we are also putting a lot of content here. Let's say if you want basics of Incoterms in SAP TM, what is the Incoterms in SAP TM, and if you want to watch it, we are putting this kind of content for you so that you can understand the better things. And these all with SAP screenshots we are putting it, right? So this kind of content you will not find it other way around. You want to know about freight settlement document a little bit more, you can read out about the freight settlement document, and then there is a presentation deck which you can watch from here. That for freight settlement document, what all things we need to do it, step by step, everything is available with the detailed presentation, right? So that kind of content, and we are enriching this content. On every month, you will see some new thing has been introduced, some new thing has been introduced. We are enriching this content on month basis. So this is a system demonstration for less than container load scenario for air freight. For air freight less than container load, how this scenario would be happening. We have created a document for that, which can be helpful. Okay. So these kind of documentations are available, and there are much more things. We are providing a lot of things. Then we have mastering CV. If you want to create your CV after this course, you can go through this. That is a free course available. That's a 2-3 hours of course to teach you how to create your CV. And this is a complete dynamic course, we call it. All the if Rohan is covering one topic, but you say that, oh, freight settlement, I want to go ahead now, right? And if you want to also go ahead with, we have multiple trainers. If you want to go ahead with the other trainers videos also. So that is, the content is given upfront. As soon as you join, you have all the content, all the videos with you. If you want to go ahead and jump ahead, that TM master data, I want to see the transportation network and transportation lane, I want to know it. You can straight away jump into this video. If in your project you want to do it. The course is not assigned to me. So that's why I'm not able to see it. Bhupender, can you please assign this course to me? Assignments are also available with each of the course. So that's where the detailed course is available here. So we would be providing this 40 hours of training, but TM is a huge topic. We are also planning to do TM 2.0, where basically logistics, LSP scenario, integration scenario would be covered in more detail. Okay, so we are planning for TM 2.0. It may take around 6 months of time. So you need to understand the module is huge, right? So we are providing you a lot of content. The live trainings we try to cover in 35 to 40 hours, but there is huge content is there. The another content you need to consume through the recorded sessions and through the documentation we are providing. Okay, that is to cover Bala's question. I'm quickly moving ahead to Sridhar. I hope you all got understanding that what kind of content you are getting it from the bundle. Multiple things together, different products, we are providing it to you. Sridhar, over to you.
Hi, Bhupendra. Yeah. So my question is, I think a couple of questions from my side. The first question is, on the live session, the inbound process will also be covered, or it's only an outbound process? This is my first question. And my second question is, so the same topic of for an consultant who want to pursue career on TM or upskill their skill on TM. Probably what I understand is there is not much of a scope of TM, but still the logistics execution of SAP, probably the shipping process and the shipping cost process and all of those things for the inbound process still be a scenarios where probably the procurement consultant would require to have this, right? So in that angle, do you still see that transportation is a good caliber for or these sort of even an inbound process will also be handled by the specific TM consultant? So these are my two questions actually.
Rohan, I give it to you to answer them.
Yeah. So, Sridhar, to just address, either you talk about from, very first question. So, from practical point of view, when we'll be there in the live sessions, it will be either you talk about outbound or inbound. Both of the processes are same. The only thing is, when you talk about the outbound cases, you'll have a sales order which will be created, which will help you in triggering and creating a document in TM. And if you talk about from an perspective, that is an inbound thing, you'll be having a purchase order that would do the same thing to TM. So from TM's perspective, TM simply needs a triggering document, whether it comes from an sales order as in from SD side, or it comes as a purchase order from MM side. From TM's perspective, it simply needs a triggering document altogether. Okay, so I'll showcase a demonstration on the sales order, or if in case if you are there, you can also check in, because same logic, same integration touch points I'll talk about for the MM side of integration as well. So at least that part of thing can be addressed, that is doable. Now, second part goes with the scope, basically, that how much of MM is probably validated. I think in the initial segment itself, I think Parminder notified altogether. From the scope point of view, if you talk from an TM's perspective, MM has little scope to talk about, or any other module to have a little scope. However, if you are jumping probably into completely into TM side, TM has its all different ball game to talk about. Okay, so just let me know if in case if you feel that if something else needs to be also addressed. But what I feel is, if you are anticipating that role of MM in TMs as a TM consultant, I would say it is very less. Okay, that how much of MM will be the part of in your TM segment, it is very less to talk about. Did that clarify?
Yeah, Sridhar, you would be able to unmute now.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Parminder. Yeah. So I think, so if I understand correctly, so the inbound process will also be covered on the live session, right? Probably one cycle of PO, how
Yeah,
the settlement happens.
same,
Right. So,
correct.
okay.
That is a doable thing. So that should not be any problem.
And what sort of a configuration required to be done? Because the reason why I'm
Yes,
asking this, Rogan, is that in LE, it's a different sort of a process, which I
correct,
worked and I know how it works. But in the TM,
correct.
it's going to be all the documents and all the process is different. So,
It's a slight different, yeah.
yeah, so because the shipping and shipping cost document and the settlement is all about in LE, but in the TM it's different thing, which we would, in fact, I would like to understand more in terms of the inbound process. And the second thing is if this is covered, which is well and good actually. So one cycle and how the configuration happens, if you can confirm, that will be great.
That will be
Um,
fine. I think that should not be an issue. The only thing, as I said, probably TM only needs a single document. So I think if it is purchase order, it's fine.
hmm,
If it is a sales order, that is also fine. From TM's perspective, TM only
hmm.
needs a document coming into TM. So it could be PO, SO, whatever it is. However, parallel side of whatever your MM system does is completely free of what TM will be taking care.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of
TM
course,
will
of
take care of,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
the expectation is that, so the expectation is that, let's say, for example, integration of MM to TM, probably
correct. That
once
I'll
we have
take
the
care.
PO sent out, and probably the freight order creation, and from there, more interested to see how the costs are getting adjusted into the materials that is posted in the warehouse. Because once the cost document gets updated from the TM and how this material adjustment happens, so this is something that I would really like to see how the TM works.
That again,
Yeah.
I would
Hmm.
just like to interrupt. That again
Hmm.
would be handled, I would say, in MM side only.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what happens
Okay.
in the real parallel world is,
Hmm.
when you create a purchase order, okay, definitely you go with your regular MM side. Okay, I am least bothered about that part. So suppose let's talk about PO gets created. You get yourself created a freight unit in your TM side. That
Hmm.
freight unit helps in creating a freight order. That freight order
Correct.
probably gets posted as a settlement in the finance system, most likely.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
now that freight settlement document which gets posted in the finance system will be having a TM and finance, which will be integrated, which indirectly will also be integrated with your MM system also.
Correct.
So Once your finance system is integrated with your TM, finance system integrated to your MM, they both will talk to each other as an intermediary module, as a finance intermediary, as an intermediary module. Okay, and that
Okay.
is where
And
your data from TM gets transformed and get into your MM side, and that is how it gets updated parallelly across in your MM segment also. Okay,
okay.
so
So,
that is how generally it goes. But if you're imagining or thinking that probably parallelly something will happen in TMMM, no, that does not happen.
okay. And also
Okay.
for the outbound process, yeah,
Hmm.
I got it, Rogan. And also for the outbound process,
Hmm.
in LE, it is generally right. So after the
Hmm.
settlement, there will be a PO creation and there will be a service
Hmm.
entry sheet, and
Service
then
entry
there is the
sheet.
invoices, right? So
Hmm.
this, if you cover the outbound process, you will also be touching upon this end-to-end cycle, or you will only be limited to the TM cycle. Uh,
TM cycle. Why? Because again, because
hmm,
PO and SES creation is part of your MM journey.
hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
so what
hmm,
would happen is, if I just simply giving a brief background, TM is actually integrated to FI, and
hmm,
FI is integrated to MM to
hmm.
generate POSES for you. And that POSES is not that PO that we are talking about. Okay, so that is service PO. Okay, so usually your limit, your as a TM functional would be limited to TM being integrated to finance. Now, how finance talks to your MM system is basically between those two entities to take care.
Yeah, because as a TM consultant, probably
Yes,
I would also be interested to know how the other modules are integrated, right? Like what are the different touch points that are. So
correct.
I believe
And
that will be covered,
correct.
right?
And that
So
is where those small videos which Parminder was talking about with respect to MM, FI, those limited segmented pieces of of the breakdown, that is
hmm.
where it will address and answer your query too.
So will this be covered in the live sessions as well? Because just a query so that we have a clarity.
Not in the life, but yeah, most likely, because definitely I may not be able to take care of finance and probably the MM side of journey. Okay, so that's the reason
Hmm.
I might not be misleading you over in that segment.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
might be focusing upon TM, but yes, the finance and MM side of segment, probably the integration nodes and what all things has to be taken care are
Hmm.
captured in the related segmented finance segments.
Okay, okay, understood. Rohan.
So just to clarify one thing so that we are not misunderstanding. So in the finance related segment, the things we have put it, or the MM related segment, wherever you get stuck, actually that error need to be resolved by MM consultant, and MM is a full-fledged module. That error need to be resolved by the finance consultant, and finance is a full-fledged module, right? In a project, you don't have that responsibility to resolve those things, right? Those kind of areas we have provided a small videos to help you if you get stuck, because it's a kind of a remote system, sandbox system has been given to you so that you would be able to work in that system. For that purpose, we have given some small videos which will be helping you about that. Okay, if you're looking for, let's say, if you want a MM overview, if you want a finance overview, that what MM does, what finance does, that step-up circle, there would be a video which can help you. But you need to understand when you jump into a project, even for TM also, there can be multiple consultant who would be doing different roles. And then there is a MM consultant doing his role, SD consultant doing his role, right? And for us also, if you want to jump into detail, we have a full-fledged two courses in MM, two courses in SD, and two courses in FICO, right? So that is the thing I want to make you understand, that what we are giving with the TM is either the overview of the modules, or if you get stuck and if you want to resolve and proceed ahead, the FICO step, how you can proceed ahead, that many steps have been given.
Yeah, sure, Parminder. I understand actually. So thanks for the clarification. So the only thing is what happens, right? So when it comes to the implementations, so this integration touch points will always be a challenge. Sometimes the TM consultant will say, this is a responsibility of MM. Sometimes MM will say, even the TM and MM integrations, so creation of configurations in terms of generating the purchase order after the settlement and all of those things, like it will be a ping pong game. So that's why I'm asking if it is better to at least to show us a understanding of how this works, not in the system, at least these are the integration touch points, these are the documents will touch across the system. That will be really great, so that probably we'll do some deep dive even after the sessions to understand. We'll go through the videos so that we know,
Don't
okay, these are
don't
the touch
worry.
points in terms of the documents.
Yeah, don't worry. In fact, I'll help you navigating each and every node at any point
Okay.
of time. So at any point
Okay.
of time, you can also see an address that the query or the answer that you are looking for. You can ask your MMFI guys also to look forward and come and let them know where this node comes into TM. Okay, so I can
Okay.
definitely bet on that. That the
Okay.
at least the part of segment where TM comes, I can definitely vouch and take you through, because I'm going to
Okay.
take you through each and every SPR node. So don't worry on that part.
Sure.
And you
Sure.
can probably, in fact, from your end, you can easily see that what all things can be seen in TM side of your integration test nodes. Don't worry.
Okay. Thanks, Logan. Thanks.
Okay.
Hi.
So
I have
Hari, please
one
go ahead.
question.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I have one question. So thanks for this session, and I just want to know, is there any prerequisite? Because I'm into SAP supply chain planning side, not into this logistics execution side. Planning side means, so how it could be? I mean, do we need to know the order management, order to cash from SD point of view, as well as is there any the previous versions, right? So LE, TRE, or something that we need to know before jumping into this TM?
No, I think you don't need to have that. As I said, and since I also started my journey directly into TM, and TM is something which I would recommend if you don't know something, so don't prepare from your end. Let's come into the
Mhm.
session. Let's start together and let's see how we'll take you through.
Okay,
Okay, but yeah,
so
one more thing. Whenever you come down to the session, just go at least revisit whatever we have covered in the last session whenever we are there. Okay, so that it gives you a good jump start basically when we are there in the present session. Okay, so
okay, got it.
no need to probably come prepared or have to have some sort of backing that probably the entire class is having SDMM or some sort of
Mhm.
understanding on the module and I am lagging behind. So don't worry on that.
No, no,
It
in the real time. So while implementing this project, so when we are into TM project,
not
so
needed.
from order management, order to cash point of view, do we need to any things to do set up the
No,
configurations or something?
not needed.
Just creating the sales order and creating the
Not needed.
delivery,
Not needed.
then taking to the transportation planning and all, right?
Don't
So
worry.
that's what.
It's
Yeah.
not needed because you'll in the real-time projects you'll have a separate team of SD who would do that
Hmm.
for you. So you don't have to do
Yeah,
anything
understood.
from that point.
Yeah, as well as so from the integration point of view, so TM will be tight integration with the EWM and as well as the GTS, the global trade services, right? So
Mm,
uh, how so these two can we cover in this? I mean, you already says that EWM and TM
yes.
integration, and how about the
Yes.
GTS, global trade services with the TM
GTS is also
integration?
there. There are some touch hold nodes in TM side also that I'll talk about, that what all things has to be covered and taken care in case if you have your TM integrated with your GTS. So
Okay.
I'll take care of that. But definitely, as I said, it'll be half cooked integration touch nodes only, because the other half
Mm.
side of things will be taken care by a GTS module altogether and the relevant consultants. So at least whatsoever comes within TM and touch nodes which are there with all the modules, I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
Yeah, my last question is when coming to this logistics, I mean, people are suggested to go with either Blue Yonder or Oracle TM instead of SAP TM because initially it's a failure product for SAP, as many people says that. Then after that, it is into S4 HANA bringing, right? So, because as a SAP consultant, we cannot switch to other models. We are not able to switch to other, even people are suggested, but we cannot go. So that's what I just have some little bit confusion on this. So, Parminder Singh or Rohan, so can you please give us some inputs from your end? Uh, you already covered before about Oracle TM and Blue Yonder and other Manhattan, so other competitors in the market now, but how is the scope? I mean, going forward in the future about this S4 HANA TM? That's what I'm a little bit, yeah, have a question on this.
I think that question I have answered it in very detail in between, talking about that even though the Blue Yonder, the OTM, that is picking up the market, and SAP TM is not a flagship runner. But if you will compare it from when the SAP S/4HANA TM has been introduced till now, if you will compare the market share,
Hmm.
you might be seeing that the Blue Yonder and the OTM has more. But if you will see the increase in the market share, that you will see the S/4HANA TM has more increase. It has increase in its market share. You are very right. The first solution was a TPBS solution, which was a failure, which has been dropped off. Then they come up with the S/4HANA TM. The adoption got increased a lot when TM came up in S/4HANA itself.
So because of adopting S4 HANA, the companies, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, maybe that's the reason.
Yes, companies are going with S/4HANA. Earlier, what was happening that you need to have a separate SCM box, you need to integrate, and the integration has so many issues that you need three, four staff of almost six people always there as a TM consultant only for the monitoring purpose. Okay, to monitor the interfaces between the ECC and the TMS, right? So that kind
Yeah.
of all things has been removed. That is increasing it. And second thing, I have already explained you, even the many projects, even though they are going with the your Oracle TMS or the other TMS systems, the core ERP products is S/4HANA. Core ERP product sits on S/4HANA that connect with the Blue Yonder, that connect with the Oracle Transport Management, right? And earlier also in the solution architect, if you will see, even though I have done a project in Oracle Transport Management, we required a LE consultant because the LE module of SAP get connected with OTM. Now, what is happening right now if somebody is going with OTM or Blue Yonder connected with S/4HANA? S/4HANA Classic TM, because LE has been replaced with TM. So S/4HANA Classic TM gets integrated with the Blue Yonder and get integrated with Oracle TM. So what is creating as a boom or boon, you can say, for TM, even though the market share increases for Blue Yonder, even though the market share increases for OTM, the demand of TM consultant will still increase because at least classic TM you require it to integrate them.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah, but so when OTM is implemented, then it will be connected to not Oracle ERP system, right? So now why they are connecting to SAP ERP, S4 HANA? I mean, because
S/4HANA is a core product, right?
I mean, so
S/4HANA,
even OTM is
SDMM,
the Oracle
PP,
product,
plant
and
maintenance,
also
quality management, planning, everything is there in S/4HANA, right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, so if the companies adopting Oracle TM, so definitely they will choose Oracle ERP system, right? So
Do you think is that easy? How long it takes a company to change the ERP system? What do you think? How long it takes?
no, no, definitely it will take long. Yeah, it's
One,
not, it's
one
not
year,
that much long.
2 year. What do you think? How long it will take?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't have that much idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it take around 10 to 12 minimum years. Any Fortune 500 companies, if they want to replace their core ERP products, minimum 10 to 12 years of span of time and a project they need to do if they want to completely replace, right? That's where the core products in
Mhm.
multiple companies is SAP. Multiple companies, the core product is ECC, which is shifting to S/4HANA. So if you talk about the core ERP product, who is the flagship runner for it? Hari, tell me, who's the flagship runner for core ERP?
I mean, so the core ERP products,
Yeah, core ERP products. Who is the flagship runner?
flagship
SAP.
means, I mean,
SAP is the only name. Flagship
yeah,
runner
yeah, SAP
is
is
what is the most used ERP system in the world?
definitely. So Oracle
SAP,
is not,
definitely SAP, right?
Oracle is not, I mean, not that much consistency when compared to SAP. SAP is the large to super large clients, but not Oracle. So that's, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also don't want to jump into that details too
Yes, it's
much because
understood.
I
Yeah.
don't want to sound like I am selling SAP TM. I'm not selling
No,
SAP
no, no, no,
TM. I can also
no, no,
come up with a
because
demo
I'm
session
just,
tomorrow with
yeah, I'm just
Blue Yonder.
clarifying
I'm
my,
training the Blue Yonder also. So I don't want to sound like I am selling SAP TM.
No. I had a confusion on this, so that's the reason I asked you. So this is the right place to ask. So yeah,
Okay.
thanks, Parminder. Yeah, I understood.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we have almost, even in the chat also, either I have answered or my team has answered the questions. I can see most of the question on the TM certification I have already shown you in our bundle that is available. If you want to check it again, the bundle slide, I can't get bundle. Here is the bundle. In bundle, I have shown you, right? We have a product for, let me open it again. So in the bundle, we also have this certification questions, separate interview question is a separate, and the certification questions is a separate one, which is available. Okay. So that is also available. Let me check any other question which we have. Okay, some people have a question other than TM. Anyone has any question related to AATP? There's a question is there. Okay, but anyone has any other question related to the TMs? And then I maybe ask Rohan to drop off, and then the carrier related question or any another question to another module you have, you'll be able to answer it. Okay, Kamalpreet, please go ahead. Kamalpreet, if you're speaking, we are not able to hear you.
Hi, sir. It's more of counseling related question. So, do you want me to ask it later or can we?
I don't see any another question for the TM.
Yeah, it's not
I will just give another 30 seconds. If anyone has any other question related to TM, please ask it. Otherwise, I can ask Rohan to drop off, and then I will continue with this session with the carrier related questions. Okay, I don't have any TM. Okay, one question. Sometimes we get project in our own companies, but sometimes we will not get. Will you help to provide the opportunities? So Lakshay, believe me, we have a team who provides you, helps you for the opportunities. But our focus is more to the people who are learning the core SD, MM, PP, those modules we are focusing more, where new people are coming. For TM, once you learn the TM, once you get the hands-on, and we have guided you from the CV building course, we have guiding you how to prepare the CV. If you put the CV and go into the market, there are so many interview calls come that the help is not required from our side. But if you're not getting the interview calls, if you need help, definitely we are also associated with at least 3 companies who dedicatedly handled the TM related projects, TM and EWM projects. 3 very, very sound or big companies we are associated with. There we can help you to send your CVs. But first you need to come up. I have put the CV and I'm not getting the interview calls, and I will really look that why you are not getting the interview calls. That is the first thing we look at it. And the 3 associated companies which we have, we forward your CVs there. But you need to clear the interviews. We don't do any kind of backdoor entries. We don't believe on that. That was the last question from Lakshya. I don't see any other TM questions. So Rohan, thank you very much for joining us today. It was great pleasure that you have taken out time and over the weekend and given this session. We really appreciate. Thank you for joining us. If you want to drop, you can feel free to drop. I would be taking ahead of the other module questions or the career related questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Parminder. Thank you all. I'll be there.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Yeah, Kamal, now you can go ahead and ask your career-related question.
Hi, sir. So actually, I started my career like a year before in SAP. Currently, like I'm in SD module and currently in learning SD module. So would you recommend me to like jump to TM right now because I haven't completed. Let's say I'm learning on my own through Udemy courses like SD. So I haven't, let's say, full-fledged knowledge of SD right now. But should I jump directly to TM right now, or should I just do my work on SD and then jump to TM? Because I don't have that much of experience right now. I have only, let's say, 1 year of experience. I started
Do
with
you have any experience before this 1 year?
no. I've just passed down recently, passed down, and like good.
Okay.
I was working in a app, or let's say got trained in a app, and then for some requirement I got selected as an SD trainee. So yeah.
The
No.
project you are working in that project where the TM module is there?
Currently they are now in ECC, but yeah, and let's say 6 months they will be moving to S4, and yeah, they are incorporating team. They have team, right?
What kind of project you are working? You are working on a support project
Yes,
or is implementation?
support.
Support. So Kamal, please, what I would suggest you, first thing is that whenever you look outside for the job, you will require that a lot of places people require end-to-end implementation. End-to-end implementation they require, even though they might be giving you a job of support, but in all the job description you will see end-to-end implementation. So try to get an exposure to end-to-end implementation, right? That is the thing you should do first. You can do that first with Job Hunt Mastery course, which we have. Okay, and we also have internships. I would suggest you to go for an internship, which you can do parallel to your job, where you would be involved into one of the project as a SAP SD consultant. That's where your SD skills brushed up, your SD skills become strong, and then you would also be able to get a chance to work on implementation project, which you would be able to add in your CV.
Yep.
Once that is done, then you can jump into the TM.
Okay. So not right now. It's not recommended.
Yeah. So right now, work on to the SD part, work on to our SAP Job and Mastery,
Yes,
or
definitely.
the go with the internship, SAP SD internship. That's what you require as of
Oh,
now.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Kamal. Ganesh Silla is asking some related question. Is internship is paid or free? We don't pay anything for the internship. We also don't charge anything for the internship, but we give chance people to include in the internship only those people who have subscribed more than one bundle in Sastrageek. So Sastrageek students who has taken the 2 bundles from us, we include them into our internships. Neither we pay for it nor we charge for it. Okay, and I have Naeem has a question related to SAP MM bundle. If you don't mind, can you take my question? Yeah, go ahead, Naeem. What is your question related to SAP MM bundle? Naeem, I also don't. Okay, Khaja. Khaja Naeem, you would be able to unmute yourself now and ask the question.
Audible?
Yes.
So, sir, actually, I have around 3 to 4 years of experience in ERP consulting. So, I'm planning to, I have already trained in ECC, SAP MM, like around 2 to 3 years back, but I was not in touch with, I was not practicing enough. So, I eventually I forgot. So, I'm planning to take a course in SAP MM and eventually switch my domain. So, I just want a suggestion from your end, like which bundle will be good if I take mastery bundle. Will that help me? Will that help me get a job in SAP as an SAP MM consultant?
So
So I
you
need.
said you have experience as a ERP consultant. Which ERP consultant?
So my company owned ERP that I worked in a company called Project Base. So they had their own ERP related to material management, inventory management, purchase. So
Mhm.
they had their own private ERP. So in that I have experience, not related to
When
any.
was your last training on SAP ECC which you have done?
It was in the year 2021.
3 years ago.
Yes, around 2.5 3 years ago.
Yeah. I think the right module for you is SAP MM Mastery Bundle. That is the
Okay.
bundle you need to take it.
Okay.
Okay, SAP MM Mastery Bundle is the one you need to take it.
So like I have already asked Mr. Bhupinder, so he told that the classes have already started. So you provide. I'm not like I'm a bit confused. Like if the classes have already started, so if I enroll, how will I directly cope up into the middle of the batch? So that clarity I'm not getting.
So our access is given for 1 year. During the 1 year, you would be able to attend any live session. So we do the multiple iterations in a year. So once this batch is stopped, then we'll be starting another batch. So you can join the live session which is going on, whatever the things you can get from there. By the time you can also go through the recorded videos. And when the next live batch start, you can also attend that. So
Okay.
that facility we have. Mhm.
No, you can carry.
So that facility we have given, but because what we want that if anybody is coming to us and he wants to start learning, the time is the most important thing. We don't want you to waste time. So as soon as you enroll it, the full access is there. You can start going through the videos. There are also live sessions happening. Try to jump into the live session. You would be able to at least understand something in the live sessions, right? And then once you have gone through some videos, once you have attended some live session, in the next iteration, when you will join in, your focus would be very high. When you know some subject already, that curiosity has been generated. With that curiosity, you would be attending the next iteration live sessions with a lot of focus and you would be asking a lot of questions because now you know something.
Right. My other question is that so on an average, I'm having an experience, right? So on average, how much time it will take for me to complete the whole course? Because I'm serving my notice period right now, so I'm in a bit like I want to immediately switch into SAP MM domain. So what
Do
is
you
your
have
opinion?
do you have other offer in hand?
No, right now, no.
Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Hyderabad. I'm working remotely. My company is in Chennai.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
When is your notice period ending?
In the month of May.
What is your current CTC?
My current CTC is around 6.
Okay, got it. If you don't have so around May your no, when is your notice period ending again?
In the month of May, I have 3 months, 3.5 months notice period.
March, April, May, February, March. Okay, got it. So you can start learning now in 3 months of time. Generally, it takes 3 months of time, but sometime it can take more also to get it,
Okay.
right? So you can
Right.
start immediately. If you have more time, you might be able to complete in 2 months also. But in your
Okay.
case, then you should not depend on the live session. You should go
Right.
into the recorded sessions and also
Right.
jump into the live sessions. So what I would be doing if I am in your place, I would be
Mhm.
taking the excess and whatever the videos has happened so far, I would try
Right.
to cover it in a week's time or maybe in a 2 weeks time so that
Mhm.
quickly I can come in parallel to the current batch itself.
Right. I'm also planning the same.
Yeah, so that is the thing you need to do it, Naeem.
Okay.
And
So one
if you don't have a job and you are still looking for it after May, you can also reach out to my team at that time. You can look forward to join the Gurukul program also.
okay. So this mastery course include internship or how it is, sir? Like will that have
Mastery course does not include the internship. Internship is complementary if you have a
okay.
two bundle access, let's say mastery and excellence.
Okay. Okay, understood, sir. Oh,
That was a question from Kaja. I have a question from Priyank. When will we have AATP live class? AATP we have just finished. We have not taken a call. We are into the discussion to make. I think we have already taken a call. We have taken a call to make AATP as a self-paced, or what we will be doing once in a year. We'll be doing sessions on AATP on the things which has changed in AATP. That's the call we have taken. But if we will be getting a lot of requests, we can also do a live session. But as of now, the AATP is a recorded content, and we'll be doing every year. We'll be doing sessions to cover what other things got changed or the new things introduced every year in AATP. Priyank is asking, is AATP considered as a subspecialty? AATP, when introduced, it was considered as a subspecialty. But now there are the projects are there in AATP who wants to adopt all the functionalities. If somebody is working in AATP, his full bandwidth can go only into making sure AATP is correctly deployed in for one of the client. So AATP was a subspecialty, but slowly, because a lot of things have been introduced in its own, so it's growing it as a kind of a module in itself. But you cannot become a direct AATP consultant because AATP is very much linked with SD. At least SD ATP, you should be knowing it, and you should have some experience in consulting in SAP SD ATP, then you can jump into AATP. But AATP is a very good low-hanging fruit, which I suggest people to add into their profiles because it's just 16 to 18 hours of training compared to around 40 to 50 hours of training on other modules which you need to add on. Sumant is asking, what is the internship duration for SAP TM? Internship, we start a project, right? Right now we are doing US Construction Limited. In April month, we'll be starting another project. That project we try to complete in 3 months, but in most of the cases, it takes us 4 months to complete the project. So the duration would be around 3 to 4 months. Okay, in between, I have a new hand raised from Narendra. Go ahead, Narendra.
Hi, Parvinder. Actually, I wanted to know the job market in India for the SAP TM. What I understood, the TM is used by European and Americans, but how the Indian company are using the TM? Is there any scope, use scope for the TM in the India?
Okay, so Narendra, you're asking from the aspects of job in India for SAP TM?
No, not job, because even from India, we can implement the Europe and US project, right? I am checking with the Indian company. So Indian manufacturing company, are they interested in implementing of the TM module and GTS module?
So this is how what I have seen, right? The India market is always little bit behind from the Europe and US market.
Yeah.
You see that right now the Europe and US market is picking it up in one kind of tool. You will see that the India market would lag from 5 to 10 years from that. That is in general the things. But India, if you will consider, because the geography is quite big, so the FMCG companies, pharma companies, they have a big distribution center which has been across to the countries, right? So they all companies required a very good insights and a very good optimization on the transportation, which will lead them to go for the TM. Okay, India will adopt it, but it will adopt little slower compared to Europe and USA, because Europe and USA, Europe is the most aggressive with the innovations, and the other countries go little less aggressively or little patiently for the new innovations.
Okay. Yeah. Even similar case will happen in the GTS, right? We are India. We are not using the GTS as of now.
GTS will depend a lot that how from a country, how much of export we are doing it. If our export is increased, let's say if you talk about there would be a huge requirement of GTS in China because of the kind of export they are doing it. More the export we do, the more the requirement of these kind of modules will come up. Right now, compared to other ones, the way we should be exporting it from India, we are doing less. So that will depend on that requirement.
Yeah, got it. Thanks, Parvinder.
Sure. Priyank, do you want to speak? Please raise hand. I will give you the access to unmute. In between, I will answer another question from Niharika. Sir, if we have enrolled for SAP TM, then later on, are we able to attend TM 2.0 with the same subscription? No. So if you will see our SD, MM, PP, FICO course, those has been divided into the mastery and excellence course. So TM 2.0 would be excellence course, which would be the total separate, access would be there, and the fee would be there. We have done when we were doing a first batch of excellence for a few of the modules, we have given a free access to the existing students that they can also enjoy the TM 2.0. They can also enjoy the excellence one. I cannot commit whether we would be able to give it for TM 2.0 or for TM excellence or not. Yeah, Priyank, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi, Parminder. Thank you. I was just considering, like, when we were saying about this AATP, like, we need to have the basic. Are we talking about in terms of the forward scheduling, backward scheduling, etc.? Because I wanted to deep dive into the, like, not had much chance to work from the AATP perspective, in terms of those requirement class and requirement type configuration and setup and all that. Is that something that gets covered in this AATP itself as well, alongside the new introduction of whatever we have these rules?
Yes, so I have covered earlier the last batch which I have done. In that batch, I have covered the basics of ATP. It starts from the basics of ATP. From there, we have started, so that part has been covered. So basics of ATP has been covered, and then we jump into the detail of much more complexity of AATP.
Right, right. And like you were saying that this is mostly going to be just the recorded content available, correct? For
Yes,
ATP.
as of now, it's only the recorded content available for AATP.
Okay. Is it going to be priced the same way, or will that be a difference in terms of a live session and versus this recorded session?
That you need to check. Just drop an email to support@sastrageek.com and they would be able to help you with that.
Sure. Would you think that this would be the first thing that I can perhaps get and achieve rather than going for a TM?
Yes, you can do that. That would be a low-hanging fruit which you can try to pick it up first before you want to go ahead with TM. Or if you have time, you can also do both in parallel, but that depends what kind of time bandwidth do you have.
Correct. What other such low-hanging fruits can be considered for me?
For SD side, the low-hanging fruits are AATP. The low-hanging fruit is customer service, CS module. If you think from the SD perspective, that are the low-hanging fruits. Okay, and then the TM comes. So then again it always comes. I always tell people that think about that. What is your interest? Right? If you are interested into the logistic execution a lot, if you are interested into the transportation a lot, then you can do TM first and the other things later. Either it should be the interest, or either let's say if TM, EWM, TM, AATP, CS is there in your project, you are delivering a project as SD, but one of these module is there. Then you can pick the hand on those module first, because when you are around in the surrounding environment where those modules have been used or getting deployed, you can get a lot of information and idea from your project itself.
Correct.
Right? And then that experience you can showcase also.
Right.
That is the two criteria which I suggest. Either go for with interest, or go and check your ecosystem. In your ecosystem, where you can get the opportunity to learn the module more in your existing ecosystem. Based on that, select your module.
Right. Sure. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Priyank. I have a big question from PS Rawat. I have been into SAP ABAP consultancy for the last 7 years, but in the span of the time, I feel now is the ABAP development becomes more interesting if we know the process thoroughly. So I decided to go for a company, for a manufacturing client. Would it be better for me to go for EWM or some other core modules, let's say MMSD, FIC, or TM, seeking your advice? Do you have a bundle for ABAPer to help in the workflows? PS Rawat, would you be able to raise your hand? PS Rawat, I think is already dropped. No, it's there.
Hello, Parvinder. Yeah.
Hi, PS. Hi. So I just want to know, I got your question, but I just want to know that do you want to become a functional consultant or you want to know the module so that you would be able to better work into your ABAP work?
Exactly. I just want to become a technical functional
You want to
techno-functional.
be technical, but you want to work better onto the functional modules, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, okay. So we have a course PS, which I call it functional module overview for the solution architects and the leads. That course actually we created for the technical consultants first. Technical consultant who wants the overview, like a ABAPer, I need to have a little bit overview on the EWM, some overview on the PP, some overview of the MM, SD, FICO, so that when I am working on to those developments, I understand the terminology, I understand the business process, so that I can better do the handling with the clients or better do the handling with the functional consultants. So I would suggest you, if that is your motive, you should go for functional module overview course. My team, please, can you give a link for that course to PS?
Can if I go for like a full course for this EWM, so uh, though I don't want to leave the technical part still, but I would like to go for one of the like functional fully.
Yeah, you can go. EWM has a specific part. EWM and TM both have. We call it as a EWM technical and TM technical,
Okay.
where you would be knowing some part of the EWM or the TM, and then you work as a ABAPer onto the specific developments into the EWM.
Okay.
That also you
Okay.
can do it, not a problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Lakshya want to speak? Lakshya D. Go ahead, please. Lakshya, are you able to unmute yourself? Can you try now?
Yes, hi, good evening, sir.
Hi. Hi, Lakshya. Before I answer your question, there is a question by Cyprian Lebo. I need to expertise on debugging. Team, can you provide ABAP for functional consultant course to Lebo? So Lebo ABAP for functional consultant is a course which can help you with the debugging and the other ABAP concepts also. Go ahead, Lakshya.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, talking basically about everything, I would like to mention that I'm 30 years old. I was earlier into sales and uh, inside sales and Byju's and all. Now, talking about our parents, they have single-handedly, did everything possible so that they can earn a livelihood for us. Now, I want to do the same, and now from switching from sales to SD, I have gained 9 months of experience in SD, with including 6 months of internship. Now that at the age of 30, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I will go through this career like for next 30 years. since there are a lot of specialized experienced professionals in SD here, I want to stand out. I want to make sure that even I will have a career in for the next 30 years, something that will make sure that I will have a livelihood. Now, how do I make myself stand out? How do I gain that momentum? As you said to a fellow colleague of this webinar, that he has 1 year of experience in SAP SD, you suggested him to go with SAP SD only. So how shall I sail forward?
So right now you are working as a SAP SD consultant. Is
Yes,
that I got correct?
yes, sir. As support only, and that too in product-based companies, sir. So no support for other companies or
No
nothing as such.
consulting experience. Got it. So Lakshay, and that is also 6 months now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as such, as a SAP SD is a very good module because it's always a core module. So because you have just started with that module, if you have put your hand on something, I want you to make sure that you put a strong grip on it so that it can help you for many years, right? So that's where the earlier guy also have suggested. When you will be going out in the market for the projects, right? Then you would be again facing a challenge, or you would be again getting a support project if you don't have exposure to the implementation projects. Right? So that's where I have suggested the same suggestion goes to you also. Before jumping into TM or any other module, make sure whatever things you have on hand, put a strong grip on it. Get an implementation project experience or exposure. That would be very important for you. Okay, through the internship program.
And one more thing, sir.
Go
Regarding
ahead.
mastery program, sir, mastery program, sir, as I have gone through the course curriculum, and you have another excellence program also, sir. Would mastery program would be enough to gain like a strong hold in SD? I mean, would there be some credit management or some other topics that will be not included in mastery and will be included in excellence? Is it like that?
Yes, so I would suggest you go for the both so that you can have internship access also. Excellence has many topics which is not covered in mastery.
Okay.
The new number range concepts, the flexible Fiori, sales order approvals, settlement managements, credit managements, BRF plus output management, then your activate methodologies, then your agile methodologies to run the projects, then the conversion, what you need to do for the conversions, right? So those all the things has not been included in the mastery. So I would suggest you to go for excellence.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Sure. Now I have another question in the chat from Ganesh. How can we become a techno-functional consultant with any of the modules if possible? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So if you are a functional consultant, we have a course called ABAP for functional consultant, which we suggest you to do it so that you have a more technical hand into it. If you are a technical consultant, first I would suggest you to go for course called Functional Modules Overview, and then later on pick up one of the functional module and learn it. So that is a transition from transition, or that is a transition from moving from technical to functional, and functional to technical is a ABAP for functional consultant course. Simprian, okay. Yes, Simprian Lebo, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. See, I'm working with a company, like we are supporting multiple clients, based on the tickets. So currently, I am a EWM consultant since couple of years, nearly 10 years experience. I'm good in EWM, but for a new client, in the last project, I worked in partially in the TM also. When we work in EWM, there is, it's connected with the TM, and also I was looking into TM side. So they are asking me to work on TM side for the new project. So I want to quickly, expertise this one. Already I'm in the project. So it's good that you are starting the course on 23rd. I will join to that. So, but is there what kind of for any? Do you have any other support, or what's the best way to survive this
Yeah, I
TM?
got it.
Yeah.
Simply, Levo, that once you will go for the TM course and then you jump into a TM project, you might be having some struggle into the project which you are handling it. Okay,
Okay.
although we are not into very favor of it, but we
Okay.
understand in some cases you have been given a difficult project and you have just started your TM career and you need
Yeah.
some more support, that we call it as a project support. So
Yeah.
we do provide that project support, but that is charged separately. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
need to get back to us that what kind of project it is, what kind of help would be required, what kind of scenarios you are doing it. Then the first thing we try to identify that how many hours of support would require in a week. And then
Uh-huh.
based on your requirement, we'll try to bring a SAP TM consultant. He will spend time with you to make sure that you are able to cope up with your project requirements.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is ticket based, and we have some consultants working with me, on the TM side also. But I may need the additional support. So I will work with you. I will maybe send an email or contact you on this.
Sure. You can
charges.
email us, and then based on your requirement, we'll assign one consultant to you. We can make a small
Okay.
WhatsApp or Telegram group. There
Okay.
we can align with the consultant, and then you would be having a one-to-one session with him to help you in the project.
Okay, that's very good. So I will contact you. Thank you.
Sure.
I will be taking IBP, maybe IBP course also. So we have IBP also in this new client. I'm more like a supply chain, so I want to expertise the IBP also.
Sure. IBP also is just going to start. Make sure you get it enrolled for it so that you can go for the courses.
Okay,
If you want to go for the multiple courses, you can also check with our team. We have a diamond membership where you have access to the full Sastrageek, all Sastrageek courses.
Okay. And your TM is how many 32 hours course, is it? Classroom course?
TM?
Yeah, TM.
Yeah, it would be, you can consider between 30 to 40 hours. Sometimes people have more questions. Based on that, it can take a little longer, but you can consider between 30 to 40 hours.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you for joining, Livo. With that, I don't see any further questions in the chat, and I also don't see any further hand raised. I hope we are able to answer all of your questions. We really appreciate your presence coming into a session over the weekend, Sunday, and attending this session. So we really appreciate your time. And we'll look forward to see you into the courses which you are going to join, maybe in IBP, TM, or EWM. So thank you again for everyone for joining, and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.